What's up guys, my name is Sean with White J Productions, and if you've been watching this channel for any period of time, you know that I believe two things. One, lenses matter far more than a camera. And two, you can get good glass cheap and it's not hard. Now, I know you saw the title of this video. I know you saw the thumbnail. And yes, I am telling you that there is a $3,500 cinema lens that is selling for $300 in a slightly different variation. Now, at the core of it, it's the exact same glass, and I might even argue that the variation of that lens would work better for most mirrorless shooters, and we'll talk about it. Now, of course, while this lens is phenomenal, the same principle is gonna be applied to a few other lenses, so we're gonna talk about those first. If you really just wanna see that lens, you can use the chapters feature and skip on ahead, but I would encourage you to just pay attention to these other lenses first because they might catch your eye a little bit more. Now, this specific lens I'm holding right here is the Nikkor 85mm 1.8G. As you can see, it's a very small lens, even by 85mm standards. It has some very beautiful glass. I don't know how well you can see it from there. There we go. It's got great glass, and ultimately this is a lens that I love using. It's phenomenal for photography, but more importantly, it's great for video. It even has built-in focus gears that, yes, you can just attach your follow focus to. They're rubber, but if you buy one in good condition, they're great. Now, Nikon makes three versions of these lenses. This is the 85 1.8G. I'm shooting on the 50mm 1.8G in case you want to know what it looks like. And there is a 35mm 1.8G, but it's a little harder to find the full frame one. Now, I know prices for these things can fluctuate all the time. So at the time of recording this video, I'm just going to pull up eBay right now and look up the 50mm because that's probably the most interesting. So this is going to be the Nikon 50mm 1.8G. It comes up almost instantly. This lens is going for, I see $127, $99. I can see it. Okay, another one for $120, $115. That's all used. By the way, Nikon still does sell it on their site for $199. I think the 85 is a little bit more. You can look it up, find the own prices, see if it's worth it for you. Now, real quick before we move on, I do want to talk about the character of this lens because there is a reason I bring it up first. Look how beautiful these lenses look. These lenses have character. Yes, they are photo lenses, but because they're kind of on the cheaper spectrum of photo lenses, while being sharp, they have a nice glow to them. They have a nice softness to them. They just have a look that personally I really love for video. I think they look quite nice and they have a whole lot of character. To me, they kind of seem like if you took the sharpness of a photo lens and the characteristics of a vintage lens and kind of combine them into one, this is what you'd get. So I just wanted to show that off first because the lens we're about to talk about could not be more clinical, at least for a cinema lens, that is. Sorry if this image ends up looking like trash. I'm kind of testing out the Red's HDRX feature and seeing what I can get away with in terms of dynamic range. They say like 21 stops is what you can get out of this, 21, 22 stops. So we're gonna see if that ends up happening. Forget about cameras real quick. Let's talk about this insanely cheap version of a very expensive cinema lens. Now, the cinema lens version is the Sigma Speed Prime T15. Now, these lenses are great. I have used both the Speed Prime and the other iteration of this lens. They're phenomenal. The deal is they have the exact same glass. It's literally a rehoused photo lens. That's the original. The original is a lens very similar to the Sigma 24-70 I have here, but it's smaller and lighter, and it's the Sigma DG HSM f1.4 art lens. If you put that into Google and go to Sigma's website right now, you can buy that lens in a few variations of mounts, I believe, including EF, F mount, Sony A, Sony E, Sigma SA, and maybe a couple others, but that's what I can remember off the top of my head right now. Some of those are discontinued, some of those are not, surprisingly, and Sigma will sell it to you straight off the website, but it's like $900 on their website. Instead, go to eBay, because I looked it up last night. Most of these lenses, specifically the 35mm 1.4, are going for like $280 to $320. Some of the more expensive versions, like the 85mm 1.4, as you can imagine, is going for more like the $500 to $600 range, and the 50, I believe, is going in like the $250 range. So you can get those three prime lenses for incredibly cheap prices, and it's the exact same glass as the Sigma Cine Primes. I don't understand the price difference. Look, I get cinema housings are expensive, and I get you have to put certain coatings on and it's a lot more work, but that much of a price difference is a little shocking. Now, in all fairness, I'm seeing a lot of these Cine Prime kits and single lenses go on eBay for about $2,000 a lens. I see right here there's a PL kit going for $10,000 plus shipping on eBay, and it's 5 lenses. You get in that a 24, a 35, a 50, an 85, and a 14. So definitely not a bad deal there, but not the greatest either. For $2,000, I think I'll be picking up some Arles Primes instead. Now, of course, having a photo lens isn't ideal. The focus throw isn't necessarily calibrated. However, with follow focus systems, you can kind of calibrate it yourself. Currently, I have the Sigma 24-70 2.8 DG HSM, so kind of similar glass. It actually would match with these lenses, and I've attached a focus ring to it. Personally, I don't have an issue pulling focus with this lens. It's pretty easy. It's not as great as a cinema lens. It has about 150 degrees of follow focus throw once I throw on my follow focus gears and everything and get that all set up and situated, but it's perfectly fine. I definitely don't mind pulling focus with a photo lens. And if you don't, then these might be some lenses you want to pick up because that's just an insane deal. And I don't know who would pass that up. Now, alternatively, you could buy these lenses for anywhere from $250 to $500 a piece and rehouse them yourself. It's definitely possible. You could also send them to another company to rehouse them in a way that maybe you personally might like, with a focus throw that you might like. And it would probably still be cheaper than buying outright the Sigma Cine Primes, which already come as a rehoused version of that photo glass. So while Sigma may have tricked its customers into paying for its extremely expensive versions of the Cine lenses, you don't have to fall victim to that little marketing gimmick, I would call it, and you can just buy the originals if you don't care about having an iris ring. Personally, I don't, so I think I will. Now, I know I've been showing you some shots throughout this video of me using those Sigma Cine lenses, and when I buy the normal art versions, I would be more than happy to put them side by side in a test. I could probably get my hands on those original Sigma Primes pretty easily, and maybe run some side by sides and see how they look different, but I'm sure there's a test on YouTube like that already out there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.